What is up, you guys? This is Angie from Atarius, and I'm here to talk about Oracle decks and tarot cards. For those of you that don't know much about them, but may be a little curious, this is the video for you. I'm also going to go over how to choose between getting a tarot deck or an oracle deck, and how to choose which deck is right for you. All tarot decks should have 78 cards, and they all have the same card. They're just illustrated differently or sometimes called different names, but they are all split up into the major arcana and the minor arcana cards. The major arcana cards usually symbolize phases that you are going through, big changes that are happening in your life, or big changes that need to happen in your life. So it's common practice that in a reading, the tarot reader will pay more attention if a major arcana card comes up than a minor arcana card. The Hanged Man is a major arcana card. It doesn't have any number associated with it. It is just called the Hanged Man. This is a time in your life where you are stagnant, where you're not really moving, but you're kind of choosing to be that way, or maybe it's a good thing that you're in this hanged position, all tied up, not going anywhere. The Star card, this is one of my favorite major arcana cards. It's a sign of hope. All the yes, you're going through a very fruitful time in your life, and you should be taking advantage of all of the opportunities because things are going your way and they are flowing. So we like the Star card. Death is a major arcana card. No need to be worried about death, because when something dies, something more beautiful and something better is born from it. From the ashes, flowers grow. Minor arcana cards are split up into 4 suits. The suit of pentacles, the suit of swords, the suit of cups, and the suit of wands. So every suit has usually a specific meaning or a specific theme. Like the pentacles usually represents your earthly material world. It could mean your home, your job, your health, all of the things that are on this material plane. The cups involve maybe your subconscious mind, the dream world, your spiritual side of yourself, your emotional relationships, your feelings. So the cups are a much more spiritual soul level. The swords signify air, so a lot of the swords have to do with communication, your ambition, your drive, your mental state of mind, putting your emotions aside, making clear decisions mentally. I always view the swords as your monkey mind, your ego. Okay, that's what Buddhists call your ego, your monkey mind. Okay, the part of you that's logical, that thinks things through, but also the part of you that can communicate what is going on in your head. Wands to me is your passion, your fire, your creativity, action, lots of action. Wands usually always wants us to move forward with something. So we have these 4 suits, and then in those 4 suits we have Ace through 10, then we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. And all of those individually mean something. So in my experience, when I was learning tarot, it is still pretty tough. You have all of these cards to kind of memorize what they mean, and you have these images that can help you in deciphering what they mean as well. You have your intuition that you need to listen to, and another thing that people overlook with tarot is how important the question is that you are asking your guides to answer. The more specific of a question you can ask, the more specific of an answer you are able to get. So learning tarot takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of practice, and it is important in order to learn tarot to read other people. When I first started to read, it was really hard to read myself. I had a really tough time separating my bias, what I thought was going on in my life and what I thought was best for me, from the cards that were being shown to me. And what I've learned, there are plenty of times that I've read other people and the cards aren't telling them what they want to hear. They still do not hear me. So that's why I say read other people because you're going to learn a lot about your cards, you're going to learn a lot about your intuition, and you're also going to learn how to deliver messages. If you're interested in getting a tarot deck and learning about these cards and possibly reading other people, what do you do next? You need a tarot deck. When I first started looking at tarot decks, I read a lot about the Rider-Waite deck because the Rider-Waite deck is kind of the original tarot deck. It's what every other tarot deck that's created is kind of based on. I was like, okay, maybe I'll get the Rider-Waite deck. When I started looking at the Rider-Waite deck images online, I did not connect to them at all. I was confused by the images and they just did not speak to me. This is going to make my life even harder if I get this deck because I have to learn all of these cards. So I decided to look at other cards, other tarot decks, because there are so many tarot decks out there that I didn't feel pressure to get the Rider-Waite deck. I went on Amazon and I typed up tarot decks and I just started looking through decks. Another thing that I did was I went on YouTube and started watching YouTubers who unbox and show tarot decks. I started to get more of an idea of what type of deck might be right for me. I came across the Linestrider Tarot, which is a deck by this artist called Cielo Thompson, and immediately it spoke to me. Attracted to this deck right away because of the watercolor paintings and the drawings. It's also all based on images of animals and nature. So I think it's really important when you're looking for a tarot deck that is right for you, look at the images. Decide, am I attracted to these images? Do I feel something from these images? Do these images speak to me somehow? You want to be able to get messages from those images. That is another quality and skill that you need to build up in order to be a tarot reader. If you're not sure that being a tarot reader is right for you, or you don't really care to learn a lot about the cards, then I would say go find yourself an oracle deck. Oracle decks, on the other hand, do not follow any sort of rules. Oracle decks just include messages or cards that the artist wanted to include. You're going to find different messages in this oracle deck than you will in this oracle deck. You're going to find different cards in this deck than in this deck. So I have the Magical Messages of Fairies, Work Your Light Oracle card, The Universe Has Your Back, Pythia Botanica Oracle. All of these are incredibly different. I use them in very different ways. If I'm pulling a card in the morning, what kind of message do I think I need to hear? Or if I'm doing a tarot reading, depending on how the tarot reading is going, I'll choose a certain deck, whatever I think fits the tarot reading. This deck literally says, you've got the power to lift up your thoughts and energy and to attract what you desire. Use positive affirmations. Get some exercise. Very specific, very easy to pull, and right away a person gets a message that they can read. They don't even need me to get this message. This is a good deck to have if you're just looking to pull cards in the morning and get some sort of message. Unless you buy one that isn't so straightforward. I got this deck because I really like the artwork and it was all about flowers. So I was like, I'm going to connect to this right away. I did not. I find myself a lot with this deck not really understanding, having to look it up, and then really having to decide, what does this mean for me? What does this mean in this reading? Absolve. Absolve really isn't a word that I use in my vocabulary very often. So when I look at it, I'm like, I kind of know what absolve means, but what does it mean in this context? So unfortunately, I haven't really connected with this deck, but this is a good lesson for me to learn. I need to do my research when I'm looking to buy a new deck. Even if I like the images, the meanings and the messages are equally important. So another type of oracle deck that I really like is this deck. It's called The Universe Has Your Back. It's based off of a book by Gabrielle Bernstein. And this deck is full of affirmations. That's all it is. They're just affirmation cards. This is a really great deck to pull in the morning. It's a new day and you want to put out good energy in the day. You know you want to armor yourself, some good vibes and good thoughts. This is the deck to pull. My energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. This is great because You pull it in the beginning of the day. You can meditate with it. Whenever you're feeling down or whenever you're feeling some negative energy, you can come back to the card that you pulled in the morning. Say this to yourself. Say this out loud. Let the universe know that, hey, I heard your message this morning. I'm not going to let this bring me down. My last oracle deck that I got, the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I got this deck mainly because of the images. Recently, I've been attracted to this color scheme like no other. So this is just me listening to my guides, listening to the signs around me, and knowing that this is a deck for me. It has gold in it. It has like the metallic gold that shines, which I am a straight up gold person. And it also has a lot of roses and flowers in it. So this deck just feels so like me, and I just had to have it. And then, oh my God, look at this artwork. It is so beautiful. I love artwork that is colorful, that has a lot going on in it, so that when you look at it, you don't see the same thing twice. You can get a lot of messages from this. And then the messages, inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So what I've learned, this deck is intense. This deck is about working your soul. Literally, all of these cards are talking about your soul journey, your soul's path. These cards talk about the deep stuff. When you want a really deep message, you want something from the ethers, pull from this deck. So that is why I love this deck, because at the end of the day, this is part of my purpose, to get deep and to figure out what is really going on under the surface. I hope this video helped you to learn the difference between tarot cards and oracle cards, all of the different types of decks that you could get yourself. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, let me know in the comments what you thought about this video, and let me know what other questions you may have about tarot decks, oracle cards, or just tarot readings in general. Catch you guys later.